Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We've covered this week's X-Men books as well as a couple others. Now it's time to move on to this week's Avengers books, starting with Avengers number 59. Where we left off, the Avengers were traveling through time, trying to prevent Mephisto and the multiversal Masters of Evil from, well, wiping out legacy heroes. We continue on in the same vein in the Old West. We begin with a legend about a legend of the Old West. The tale was told in whispers by men more accustomed to grunts or hollers in Texas bunkhouses and Missouri hooscows, around campfires on the moonlit tallgrass sea of the Kansas prairie, over Dakota Territory poker tables, in those most sordid of hours betwixt Saturday night and Sunday morning. The tale went that if a fellow found himself at a crossroads situated near a hanging tree, and was to ride out there just a shade on the other side of midnight, 3 days after some horse thief or claim jumper or other such trifling no-account polecat had been strung up by their godforsaken neck, you might well find a gentleman there waiting, the sort looking to make a deal, with the power and authority to grant you what it is you most desire, so long as what you desire involves killing a lot of folks. It's Mephisto. And so a man goes to make a deal, signs, and wants to be the fastest draw. After signing, he says his hand doesn't feel any different, doesn't feel faster. So Mephisto suggests that it says that the secret's in the tools. Suggests that the man try Mephisto's pistol. But our story focuses on Reno, Phoenix, and the Starbrand Kid, who are dealing with a Shi'ar grab train, or sky train. Starbrand Kid takes down 3 orbiting Shi'ar vessels, and the Phoenix Kid manages to force a landing of the train. But it's an ambush. The Devil's Posse is there. And one of them, and Mephisto himself, lassos up a bunch of would-be slaves and flies off with the Phoenix Kid giving chase, while Reno Starbrand deals with the posse. However, the posse's been split up already. Some of them are already waiting for the Phoenix Kid. However, the Phoenix Kid gets reinforcements in the form of Valkyrie and Echo. Starbrand Kid gets him back up as well in the form of Thor and Iron Man. But Mephisto offers the Phoenix Kid a deal, and she turns it down. And Mephisto's right-hand man, an alternate Earth Howard Stark, deals briefly with Iron Man before Mephisto leaves. And after the Avengers have left, Reno and Phoenix go to a hanging tree where Mephisto is waiting. And the issue ends with a gunfight between the three beginning. I'm actually enjoying this arc. That said, the next issue is going to be take a break from the current arc with a Judgment Day tie-in. And what can I say? I got to read this the description. A Celestial informs Hawkeye that he has one day to justify his existence. As a benchmark, Hawkeye must prove that he brings at least as much joy and usefulness to the world as the randomly chosen mailbox, which, admittedly, is a pretty high bar. Fair. I love Hawkeye, but yeah, fair. Moving on to our next book, we've got Black Panther number 8. Where we left off, Achilles' coup had seemed to be fairly successful, but T'Challa and Shuri were recruiting allies in a plan and making a plan to take back Wakanda. But Shuri and her allies begin the assault within the capital city and manage to make a hole in the city's shield wall so that T'Challa, Storm, and Dora Milaje can get through. The various groups take on the Hetazerazi. Um, Achilles enters the battlefield and takes on T'Challa, and T'Challa defeats him, but Achilles opts to instead stab himself with his own sword, saying that a true warrior falls on his sword when defeated. But it's stated that Tazarazi will be disbanded. No more secret police. No more royal armies. Wakanda will be protected by citizen soldiers. But Shuri says that building a citizen army will take time. Though the Prime Minister states that they have time. Because this moment, all of them, they won't last, but Wakanda is forever. And the issue ends with T'Challa kneeling alone over Achilles' body. Wrapping up the first arc of this series, The Long Shadow. I really enjoyed this arc, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the series continues to go. It does seem as though, T'Challa is no longer king of Wakanda. Black Panther, yes, but not the king of Wakanda. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty, number 3. Where we left off, Cap, while investigating the origins of his shield, fought against the Outer Circle, was poised to face down against the Outer Circle's enforcer, while the Winter Soldier had gone to Madripoor to talk to Peggy Carter. But Bucky does make some veiled accusations about Peggy's loyalty, while Cap deals with the Outer Circle's enforcer. Apparently, the metal the enforcer was encased in, it seems to be at least related to vibranium. Um, but it turns out that the forge is not just a power plant; it's actually a forge where the shield was made inside a volcano. But there's a message for him from the person who designed the shield um, about who the outer circle is. And then the machine is apparently quite mad that who seems to be irritated with the fact that Captain America doesn't seem to know his place even after nearly a century. However, it's a better move has presented itself than securing the forge, rather destroying it. Cap's able to escape the volcanic eruption. Um, Bucky's conversation with Peggy leads to a fight between the two. And apparently she's just as adept at using playing cards as weapons as Bullseye and Gambit, though she doesn't get the fun of charging them with kinetic energy. Peggy wins the fight, but and states that she's going to find out the veracity of the claims that Bucky made to her, and basically tells Bucky that he'll never see her again, and to wipe his name from his imagination. Tell him not to look for her or think about her. Elsewhere, it appears another one of the Outer Circle's enforcers potentially is going after the young boy that Cap's been teaching how to fight. And that is where the issue ends. Arc is definitely getting interesting, to say the least. I look forward to keeping up with it and seeing where it ends. Moving on to our next book, we've got Jane Foster, The Mighty Thor, number 3. Where we left off, Jane, while Asgard was under attack, Jane was searching for Thor and ended up in the Splinter Realm known as Limbo. Meanwhile, Runa the Valkyrie had gone to aid Asgard, the forces of Asgard against the assault from, well, everyone. So we begin with Enchantress freeing Tyr from his Norse god of war from his prison. Sim tries to intimidate Jane, but it doesn't work. They fight, and he seemingly wins. Algrim, back at Asgard, Algrim the Strong is making decisions about the next part of the assault. Planning to drop black hole cluster bombs, which will likely take out half the Dark Elf fleet, but will still do a massive amount of damage. The Warriors of Asgard are doing what they can to hold off the assault by their enemies. Jane defeats Sim. And Algrim's gambit plays off. As Jane leaves Limbo, the librarian comes with and searching for knowledge, wanting knowledge. But apparently tears entered the battlefield in Asgard, and the black hole bombs are going off and have going off within the realm. Back with Jane, where she's arrived on her search for Thor. Well, she hears footsteps approaching swiftly. It's Thor trying to use his hammer. Jane tosses him the hammer. As he grabs it, 2 arrows pierce his chest, and Jane catches him. And as he falls, he asks Jane who she is, and that is where the issue ends. Interesting so far. Very interesting. Which brings us to our next book, Avengers and Moon Girl. Moon Girl has apparently lost Devil Dinosaur and is trying to find him. She recently teamed up with Miles Morales to help with this, but to note, what they found was someone making clones of Devil Dinosaur, but they don't seem to be too stable. So she's trying to deal with one of the clones that survived, and apparently it was quite the effort to get said clone home, or to her lab. But Captain Marvel comes to visit her. Apparently, it seems Devil Dinosaur might be on the moon. But she explains she can't just go to the moon. She's 9. The next day, apparently, her parents have won a vacation to Wakanda. So Luna and her parents go to Wakanda, and Beastie, the clone, has been brought as well, courtesy of Tony and Carol. They're trying to stabilize Beastie's DNA as well as find Devil Dinosaur. So Moon Girl and Captain Marvel go to the moon, where they find a bunch of additional clones in varying colors. They can't capture them, but some of the I think they're the Animen, rush out, wondering why their dinosaurs are in cages. Captain Marvel and Moon Girl deal with the Animen and go into the cave, where they find the High Evolutionary doing tests on Devil Dinosaur. Apparently he's behind all of it. But he's also captured Wolverine. But Havoc rushes in and does what he can to free Wolverine. But while he's doing so, High Evolutionary takes Devil Dinosaur to a portal and they leave. But the issue ends with Moon Girl having to go with Wolverine and Havoc, presumably, to try to continue looking for Devil Dinosaur. And that is where the issue ends, leading to the next issue, which will be which will feature Moon Girl teaming up with the X-Men. And now for our last book for the moment, since I seemingly inadvertently forgot to grab it while I was getting these set on here. We've got Captain Carter number 5. Where we left off, Captain Carter realized that the Prime Minister and one of the members of the House of Lords were in fact vampires. And so So Peggy went to deal with the Prime Minister and was arrested. So one of the high-ranking members of Strike is fielding phone calls fields a phone call from the Prime Minister talking about how we are looking for the missing Agent Braddock, but if she's turned rogue, she's one of our top agents. She knows all of our tricks. And she may know all of their tricks, but they don't know all of hers. As she and Tony are in the car, but the strike director is informed of what's going on, and it seemingly makes sense. Then Betsy reveals she has mutant powers. So the strike director has Peggy's neighbor Harley writes her into a member of his staff, so she can get into the prison and do what she needs to do with the security systems. Betsy and Tony also get in, but Betsy's got to deal with the strike agents guarding Peggy, which is taken care of fairly quickly. The Prime Minister and his daughter show up, and while Lady Fallsworth deals with Tony and Harley, ripping off one of Tony's arms, in fact, the Prime Minister deals with Peggy. And the Prime Minister explains that, Hydra's gone. He just, he capitalized on Peggy's reappearance and the nostalgia people have for World War II. Decided, hey, go with a bad guy from then. But Lady Fallsworth is staked by Harley, but before Lady Fallsworth's death, she raked her claws again across Harley's neck. But it turns out that while the Prime Minister was explaining his plan to Peggy, she had Harley's cell phone and had been streaming the entire thing. Peggy opens the window shutters, and Betsy removes the amulet that the Prime Minister was wearing, causing him to burst into flames. In the weeks that follow, Betsy, the video goes viral. No confidence vote, new government. Tony heads back to America. So he has to deal with Dr. Doom at one point. Harley's invited to join strike, but turns it down. Tony has installed has managed to repair the damage done to Harley, but she now has built-in auto-tune. But Peggy says she's not going to return to strike, at least not at the moment, and she's just going to take some time to find her place in the world. And she ends up admitting that, yes, the food is so much better in the present than it was in the past. But that is where the series ends. This was a really fun series, and I kind of wish it was an ongoing rather than a mini-series, but, well, oh well. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.